Hey guys, welcome to our channel, Henry and Caitlin plus Mazda. Today we're going to discuss some problems and struggle that interracial couple face.
One is apparently speaking.
Alright guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Help us grow this channel. And yeah, we're gonna be bringing more videos like this. But yeah, so number one is what?
It's people staring at us in public.
Yes, that's true. You go places and people will stare.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, you haven't seen mixed couple yet, that we're still in the 1950s or 1920s or what?
And I will say it has reduced in the more recent years, depending where you are.
Yes, yes.
But you still get like stares, like people just look at you like, and it's like, okay, I know interracial couples are quite common now, like all over the world, especially in big cities. But yeah, you still get like looked at, or and it's not, and they're not necessarily rude necessarily. They're just like, oh, that's different.
But sometimes you wonder though, whether it's like the other day at the mall when we were going to buy the Christmas stuff at going downstairs, and those two couple.
Oh yeah,
staring.
Yeah,
like,
they kept looking back and staring and staring and staring.
What the hell? Sometimes I just like, oh, what do you want?
This one always stares back.
I'm like, I will stare at you, and then sometimes they just like they look away.
I'm not confrontational.
I will.
So I will just avoid eye contact. This one's like,
I will stare at you and like, yeah, is there a reason why? And then they'll look away. But it's funny. So if you're gonna get into a relationship, you have to make sure you're ready. People are gonna stare at you. People are gonna look at you funny. Sometimes you're not gonna like it, because when they're looking at you, sometimes you feel like they're judging you, and you're gonna.
Which is not always the case. Sometimes it's just out of curiosity, or they're just looking because like you look different, or they weren't expecting it. And I think now that we have Mazda too, I think people try to look at us and then they try to look at him to see what he looks like. I think it's like a curiosity thing.
Yep.
So
just make sure you're ready for that. And then another one is hate comments on social media.
Yeah, it's probably honestly, that's probably the biggest one. That is probably the biggest and the hardest one, I would say, to deal with, is that you still have people who just, because they're behind a keyboard,
they can say anything to you.
Absolute nonsense, and you're just like, no, like you just.
They will say anything to you, because if you put yourself, we know that, right? Because when you put yourself in social media, you just know that people think that your life is not a public property.
Yeah.
So so they can say anything to you.
That their opinion.
And even if you tell them that, why are you saying, why are you commenting on my video? They'll say, well, you put it online. So because I put it online doesn't mean you can say anything to me.
Yeah.
And does it get easier, harder?
I mean, I guess it's the point now where, I mean, they're still offensive.
How about when we started?
Oh, I mean, I think they're still the same amount.
For you. How did you feel when we started versus now?
I think now, we find a little bit more humor in it, I guess, in a way, because we're just like, we just get more annoyed and we kind of shake it off like, really, another person? But I think the thing is, we've realized is that the people who are, in the beginning, you take it more personal, I think. And then I think now we look at it and we're like, right, the people who are making these comments are people with no pictures. They have one or two friends and 0 posts.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, you literally are just out here to make, like, your life obviously sucks, because if it didn't suck, you would actually have a social media account.
Yep.
Or you're mad about yourself, or you've been in a bad situation. Like, we kind of can just see now that it's like, you know what, it's not a reflection on us, it's a reflection on the person who's posting it.
Yep.
And we just go about it by, like, you know, we're not going to allow it to be posted on our page, so we'll block it, delete it, we report the account if we need to, depending on the severity of how racist it is, right, or how rude the comment is. Sometimes the comments are just rude, other times they are flat out racist, and those comments we do report and make sure the person is getting penalized through social media.
Sometimes what you can see, from the observation, what I've seen, right, it's not those that are happy with their lives that comment like that.
Yeah.
It's someone that is above you, or who feels that they're important than you, would not even put themselves down to do that. Mm-hmm. It's only those that feel insecure about their lives. Their life sucks, right? So now they want to push that, project it on you, and say things that will hurt you, so you can feel the pain just like they are feeling.
Or they think you're feeling the pain.
Yeah, so they think that, so they will do that. So you see that when you check the comments, always like those that have no followers, they have no their life sucks, or they have somehow they look unkempt. They just you just know that
most of them they don't have
obviously you don't like your life, so you're trying to inflict that same pain on someone. Oh why are you dating her? You shouldn't be with her. Like, who are you to determine people's life and what they should date, who they should and who they shouldn't date? It's
the entitlement and the judgment. But I think
I used to reply them before. Usually, I mean, sometimes even now, sometimes I still reply, but I don't really care. I just reply with humor. Just like, oh yeah, okay, another one.
More passive aggressive about it. Like you'll kind of throw it back in their face just to kind of show how dumb they are. And I will have to say the one difference now too is that because we have such a following that does love and support us, sometimes they fight the fight for us.
Yeah.
Or other people in interracial couples will fight the fight for us. So we're not always having to like fight that fight. Like some people will, they'll make a stupid racist or they're trying to be, rude comment, and then our loyal fans will just go in and just like bash them or like, do that kind of stuff for us. But the thing is, what we did realize is that, there was a time that yes, we would try to like educate or we would try to comment back. But what we found was either we were getting into like a keyboard war with these people and we're not getting anywhere, or if we happened to slip up and say something back to them that was slightly rude, social media would then get us in trouble and not the other person. So we realized it was like, no, it's not worth us getting our account banned or our account like getting marks on it because we're trying to defend something that at the end of the day, we know where we stand with each other. We don't have to prove anything to each other. We know that whatever this other people think of us, we're like, yeah, okay, whatever, think what you want to think, but it doesn't affect our lives. So I think we've kind of just
because most people just say, and some of those guys are just trolls. Because I remember one time they posted us on our TikTok, one of the TikTok we've done in Nigeria. They posted in another Nigerian page, a big page,
right?
So people were commenting different stuff, and there was this lovey-dovey stuff, right? So one guy just came and commented something rude. So I went and saw it on that page. Someone sent me to the video. Oh yeah, they posted you guys here. So I went and checked with my personal account and I saw it and I commented. And I'm like, why would you say that? And then the guy just came and was like, bro, I'm sorry, man, I just trolling. It's like, my brother is in the UK, married to a white lady, but just want to troll you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said, why would you say that in the first place? So some of these guys just say it just to get a reaction.
Yeah.
Right? So that's when I realized, oh my God, some people just saying it.
That's just being in the 21st century too, right? Knowing that people are behind, they are behind their keyboards. They're not. These people, the stuff they say online to us, they would never come and say it to our face. They won't say it in person, yeah. They'll never say it to our face. So they know the comment they're making is, and that's the thing, the comment they're making is like you said, they're just angry in that situation. We might have caught them at a bad time. We might have caught them after they just got dumped by a black guy or a white girl just screwed him over. Or, sometimes you just have to be like, you know what? Again, like I said, it's more of a reflection on the person posting it than it actually affects us.
Yep. Okay.
Point number 3 is that our biggest supporters, based on like our own personal, what we see around us, are Africans. Nigerians especially, but Africans as a whole. And I would say our least supportive group of people are African Americans, followed by like Westerners in general, but African Americans as the biggest group. And I don't know. I think, what did you say?
I think like African American, because of the slavery, the history of slavery, they never let it go. They still emphasize, even when they make comments, they always comment on that. And a lot of people who follow Dr. Omar, he's one guy that claimed doctor. He has that education. Yes, you have it. But it's mindset. Sometimes like you're preaching hate, and this is talking about we supported Malcolm X. Yes, we supported Malcolm X, but towards the end of life of Malcolm X, he understood that you can't just separate race. So Omar Johnson, Dr. Omar is thinking about the same thing, talking about he does not support interracial, and I see a lot of African American following his page. So they have a lot of them have the same mindset, not all of course. But a lot have the same mindset, like, you shouldn't mix. We should just stay by us. You want to extend our race. You cannot extend the black race if you go to Africa, where you can't finish it.
And I think that's where the point is. I think the thing is that African Americans they view that every then black person or African have the same experiences they do, and that's not the case, right? You are, yes, as much as you are African American, you are not an African American who grew up in the Americas. You are an African who grew up in Africa and then moved to Canada as North an adult in present time, as a first generation of African. Like, you are first generation African moved to another country, which means that your experiences around slavery and race are completely different. Than African Americans who've been living in the US for generation upon generation upon generation. And I think that sometimes gets mixed, or people automatically assume because you look the way you look that you have the same experience as them or should have the same view of that as them. And it's not necessarily the case. And I find it came really apparent when I was living in Nigeria and I went and got braids done for the first time. So in Nigeria, like, all the ladies around me were like, you should go get braids done. Hannah and I talked about it. He's like, yeah, go get your hair done in braids. Like, let's see how it likes.
Yeah.
And when I got it done, I got it done through a total of 3 times. And every time I got it done in Nigeria, first of all, I went to Nigerian women to get it done. They were so happy. They couldn't wait to do my hair. I always got compliments. Everyone was happy to see that, like, Nigerians, I want to say majority of Nigerians viewed me doing my hair as like embracing their culture. Yes. Whereas, and then we posted the video online and African Americans just bashed me and they're like, oh, that's cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
So
why are you wearing your outfit too?
Why are you wearing your outfits too? And why? And then not understanding though, but like at this point, I've been living in Nigeria. Like, Nigeria is now part of my culture. Yes, I might be white, but I'm now living in the Nigerian culture. I'm also at that point was almost dating and or engaged to a Nigerian man. It means Nigeria is part of my culture. And then, people were bringing up points like, well, braids aren't seen as professional in America. I'm like, right, but that's an American issue. That's not an issue in Nigeria. So again, would I do braids living in the US? Maybe not. But living where I was in Nigeria, with all the women I worked with wore braids. They wore wigs, they wore braids, they wore extensions, they did whatever they wanted with their hair. And they were okay with me doing whatever I wanted with my hair, and they were supportive, and they honestly viewed it as like embracing their culture, and they loved it. And even when I took it out, they're like, why'd you take it out so fast? And I'd be like, well, my hair doesn't keep it quite as long. And they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. But like, they were so supportive and understanding with it, or like not even just understanding it, like they actually liked it and enjoyed me in the braids or in their clothing. Clothing, oh my gosh, like they couldn't wait for me to wear like another Ankara outfit.
African Americans just take everything that's race. I'm not bashing you guys, but we know that everything revolves around race. Any conversation you're doing, race. I'm like, but okay, I understand that dilemma. But I'm not African American, and I can't put myself in that situation and complain all the time about my race. No, it's not gonna happen.
Because your experience is different.
And sometimes I wonder how they let people like Eminem went into rap without saying their cultural appropriation.
I'm sure they
supported him, and I'm sure they did at some point, but he kept going. Why did you guys stop? You should have stopped him from rapping because it's cultural appropriation.
Yeah,
I don't know why it's a big deal. Let people live their life, you live your life, because you don't want to be in interracial marriage. Let other people do what they want with their life. Why are you concerned with someone else's life? And I also see too, there's another group of people who may not have a little bit of support. I see that the Arabic culture, that they also have that. It's not even the women, but the men. And their own is not even because they don't like it, it's hate. Given the fact that they feel they're more important than the black people. So when they say a black person with a white person, they're like, why should get it for that? So they get a lot of hate. So I see that. They'll come to our Instagram. I look at the Instagram messages, I see it. They'll comment on all that stuff, I see it. I'm like, why is that your problem?
On our joint accounts.
And they'll make comments like, I want to date you, come to Dubai. Like,
and I'm like, right, but you literally commented on my wedding pictures. Like, okay, no, this is not.
Sometimes people are just stupid. I don't know.
Or they just think that they have enough money and power to buy women.
Yep.
But that's not the way it works. And anyways, this is a small proportion of, the actual culture, because obviously we live in the Middle East, and majority of people here, I would say, again, you still get the little odd person.
They will look you and all that stuff. Why are you together?
But they're not going to say nothing to your face, and, everyone's fairly supportive.
They should come and say.
But
I'm staring at them back.
Anyway, and I do think we need to say though, it's not that we want to disqualify African Americans people's experiences, because I totally get it. If you're living in the States, oh my gosh, like I get where race does definitely come into everything in the States. But I think what we're trying to get across is that understand that we are not a couple living in the States. We are not American. Our experiences living in Canada are slightly different, and I would say, so that already is different. And even then, we're not living in Canada even right now as a married interracial couple. We're here living in the Middle East, and we lived our time in Nigeria. So our experiences and, is not the same. It's not the same. So
yeah,
your concerns, I guess, your concerns about what Henry and I are doing.
You, but we're not
having the
we're
same
not in your
experience.
situation.
Yes.
We're not gonna understand fully because we don't have great grandparents or great grandparents or ancestors who were enslaved. Right. And I'm sure some of you will argue that you're an African and moved, but we are not. My great grandparents are in Nigeria.
Your grandparents are in Nigeria. Your father is in Nigeria.
So I will never understand. I'll try to understand your dilemma or your problem, but I wouldn't. So you guys, so that's our experience. Yes. You get a lot of stares, and I've seen other YouTubers who are also in interracial relationship, and they talk about the stares. And the black community do not like it. They don't like it.
Oh man.
They don't like it. And one of the problems they always constantly point out is like, you're taking our men. I don't know whether you're taking. A man can decide. You might not be with her, but you can be with somebody, a Chinese person, might be with another race. So I don't know.
It's a claiming thing. And then
anyway,
it kind of attaches to our next point, which was people automatically assume that like Henry's with me for a green card, or that's it's not even really the opposite way. It's Henry's with me only for a green card.
For a green card.
And again, such an American point of view, because even
green card
in
is even
Canada,
an American comments.
Yes, green cards are an American thing. It's not even a Canadian.
Canadians, we call it PR.
PR, but it works differently in Canada. It's not the same. Like in Canada, and I know the process is different. Like it's not like, oh, you just get married and you get PR because you're married. It's not like that. You still have to prove for like so much longer that you're married, and you have to prove so much more in depth that it's not the same. Like you don't really have those situations in Canada where people are. Massa wants himself to be known too. Yeah.
So and I became a I went into Canada. I already have the permanent residence.
So you were already a permanent resident when we met?
Yeah, and then I got
you got your citizenship
3 years later. 3 years into being in Canada.
So we were dating for 2 years.
Yeah.
Our second
so
I
got my citizenship. So I got my citizenship a long time ago.
Yeah.
So for those who think, I know people do it where an African, or it's not even Africans that do it. White people do it too.
Yeah.
A white person from anywhere can get married to an American and get that citizenship. But people always think about color as being American. What if a white person from somewhere got married to an African American?
Of course.
Then they get that citizenship.
But again, like I said, in Canada, it doesn't matter. Like if you were in Nigeria and got married to me in Canada, they don't automatically give you permanent residency without going through this whole process.
Well, I think every country you go through that, but then they will.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't
think there's any country that they give you easy. They'll still have to prove it.
Anyways,
but then they'll give it to you.
Anyways, not our experience, not the reason why. Actually, it's almost the opposite. Like if anything, I want to get my Nigerian citizenship through him now.
Oh yeah. I'm
the only person in this family who's not dual citizen now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, no, you guys should stop all that kind of thinking. And some people will say, and some people are also the trolls too, will come online and say, oh yeah, getting that paper. So I'm like, makes you feel good, or do you want to get one too and you can't get it?
That's your passive aggressiveness coming out.
Anyway, I think the next one is taking pictures together. That's the next struggle.
Oh, that's a struggle. A little more carefree, but that is such a struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better now that technology has improved, but my gosh, go back to when we started together in like 2011. Either I came out looking like a ghost from another dimension, or
I'm looking dark. Can't see me, bro.
Just didn't exist in the picture. And there was not a lot of either had like underexposed or overexposed pictures. and there was not a lot of pictures where we actually looked both good in them, or you had to be like we only had like one friend who knew how to take her picture together, so all of our good pictures from back then were taken by like one person.
I mean, we know how to. We also found out a way. We've been taking our picture of ourselves for a long time. So
but it took us a few months to probably figure it out.
Most of our pictures actually on our page, anywhere you see, we took it by ourselves.
Yes, now.
Even back then.
Yes.
The majority of our picture, we actually took it by ourselves.
Yeah.
So we kind of figured it out, because from the beginning it was a struggle.
Yeah.
You're not coming out, and they can't see you well. Do a video. This one is not coming out well. This one is, and again, right? I think if you look at the history of phone and photography, initially people that produced it, they made it. I think they made it basically based on the white skin.
Right.
Without considering the black
skin. And so we were trying to counteract that, and then we were going too far on the other end. Also because, we are also on very opposite ends of the scale.
Yeah.
Henry is a darker of skin tone, and I am paler than pale. So we not only are like white and black, we also chose like opposite ends of the scale.
Yeah.
Which I think also made it a little bit more difficult in getting to take pictures, but it's all good. We figured it out thanks to technology improving and us getting more used to it, and we now we know how to we just know how to take pictures.
Yeah.
Make sure that we both come out
looking
our actual colors. I don't want to look.
I don't want
to look any more tan. I want my skin tone to look like my skin tone. Henry wants his skin tone to look like his skin tone.
I don't like when I take picture and somebody try to do
lightning. Yeah. So when we got our wedding pictures done, we went through a lot of photographers, because photographers have this habit of lightening
in Nigeria. Because Nigeria like to request.
They like to lighten their skin tone. So we went through a lot of photographers with that. We're like, you are not going to touch our skin tone.
Yeah.
Leave them as they are.
Yep. And another one is makeup stains.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone that's in an interracial relationship will understand that, because when you're kissing each other, I hope you didn't.
No, I don't have enough makeup on my face today.
You're kissing each other, and then it's like it's like a cocaine dealer or something. Because I kiss her, and then you just see here, and then you see white here.
So, again, this is where you have to learn the tricks, right? I used to get really bad when I was using a powder foundation. So I would use just a powder foundation. That really transferred. So if Henry just leaned in to kiss me, it'd be on his nose, on his mouth, on his lips, all the time. And so then it got to the point where I was like, okay. So then I switched into a liquid foundation, and that stayed a bit better. And then it was it was talking to other people, and people who are into makeup and stuff, and this realizing finding the tricks of the makeup to keep the makeup on my face and off of his. And then, so after switching to the liquid foundation, I also got a really good setting spray. So I got a good setting spray that set the makeup to my face. And now we usually go without any incidents, unless the only exception is if this man is super freaking sweaty, it still will transfer, because he is so sweaty. If he then puts his sweaty nose against my cheek, it will then lift my setting spray and the makeup off of my face onto him. But for the most part now, I can, and there's no issues.
Yeah.
But unless you are sweaty.
Yeah.
But even then, we now we also are, I think, before we were not that we didn't know, but we just didn't realize how often it was happening. Whereas now I'm I will make sure that I haven't transferred anything, and if I have, I just kind of do the little wipe on his nose and the wipe on his lip to make sure that it's off, because nobody wants your man looking like he's got marks all over him.
Or he just snorts some cocaine.
Right? Is it that meme where the girl hit her face on the back of the car seat and then her whole makeup was left imprinted? Nobody wants that.
Yeah. So this is some of the struggle. If you think of anyone that you guys are going through, leave it in the comment section. But these are some of the things that we've noticed. If we think of more, we're gonna do a part 2 to this video. And so
that time for me too.
Thanks for watching our video. Thanks for watching the video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And young man is sleeping, but then he's talking. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. And
we'll see you
what
soon.
do you want to add?
That's it. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
If you subscribe.
This TikTok right here.
Yes.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye. See ya.